Hi, my name is Jonathan Hicks. I'm back at the Dice Cup, and today I'm joined by
Chantal,
Rob, David, Mark,
and we've just finished playing Assault of the Giants. Now, this is a Dungeons and Dragons themed combat warfare game, essentially. So you're running around on the map trying to recruit giants. You're all different races of giants, attack people. But there is a sort of Euro element to this. You are trying to get points, essentially. So it's not just about being the last giant standing on the map. There are various goals to go for. So you have these events. If you can get into certain places with certain runes, which you collect as you go through the game, you can collect points. You're also getting points for killing other giants. So combat is very important in the game. So this guy's worth 3 points. This guy's worth 1 point. But in terms of actually how you do the actions, like moving and attacking, you have a hand of cards, and everyone more or less has the same hand of cards. There's a little bit of variability between the different races, and these, you can see, are the cards I've previously played. So I can't play any of those because I've already played them, but if I wanted to play this move card, for example, I play it here, and it lets me move up to 5 of my units. So I look at my units, and each unit, you've got these great miniatures here, can move a space. So that'd be 1 space, 2 space. If I had some other units, then they could move 3 space, 4 space, whatever, but you can't get the number of movements you move. But then, because I've played previously 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cards, I can move an extra 5 units. So it gives you extra movement because I've played it later. So you kind of want to save certain cards, like the attack card, to play later, because then you're getting extra bonuses for the number of cards you played previously. But some cards, like the leader card here, you want to play early. This lets you re-roll dice when you're attacking, but the more cards you've played after this when you're in battle, the more dice you get to re-roll. So the order in which you play these is very important. And then finally, you can decide when you want to do this. You can play a rest card, which lets you heal some of your units, and then you get to collect all these cards back again, so that you can play it again. And this can be quite limiting because you've only got 1 attack card. If you want to attack twice, you play it, you're going to have to rest before you can then attack again. So a lot of the strategy comes into what order you decide to play the cards in, as well as obviously taking account of what's on the map. The other thing I just will say is you get these nice little story goals, kind of strategy advice for your particular race, because each of the different factions of giants are very different. They have different strengths and weaknesses, and they give you sort of little missions and things to try and accomplish as you move around the map, and I really liked that. I thought that worked very well. All right, what do we think?
we played a 6-player games, which is maximum capacity, and it was confrontational, but not to the point of being depressing. And even though there are some imbalance in the factions, I think you can still do things, even if you have the weakest one, which is the Hill Giants. You are struggling in the battles, but you are still there on the map. You don't get destroyed completely, and you can still do quests. So that's a very good point for me.
Okay, Rob?
Yeah, I don't like dudes on the map games, but I like this one because it's more of a Euro game than a combat game. It's better than games like Scythe and Blood Rage as well. So yeah, it's good. I like it.
Dave?
I'm really into how the command line works. I think it's a really interesting mechanic. That's timing of when you do actions becomes really important, and that makes it better than just a risk-style conquest game.
Mark?
Yeah, definitely the timing part, the mechanism is the best bit because it makes it more interesting as far as actions go. I like having the personal event, I like quest events sort of thing. It means we're all doing different things. Each race did feel generally different. They're not balanced, but I'm guessing the Hill Giants can score in different ways quite easily compared to me. It held up to a decent-ish pace. It slowed down in places with 6, but it wasn't too bad. It wasn't too bad, yeah.
Rating?
I think give it, let's say, a 6.5.
Okay. David?
I give it a thumbs up.
Okay. Rob?
6.
I'll go for a 7.
Okay. I really liked it. It was a little bit slow, but that's probably because we were playing with the maximum number of players. The miniatures are great. I like the differences between the different factions, because they really do feel very different. Some of them have lots of weaker giants, but other races are very strong, but you can't have as many giants. So the capacity is only 3 giants for one location, which can be quite limiting, but they're super strong. The actual, what are these guys called? They're not leaders, are they? But
Champions.
Champions, that's right. These guys are very important because they absorb damage. So if you're in a battle and you send your champion in, if he's got 6 health and the opponent only does 5 damage, it actually doesn't do any damage at all. If it does 6 damage, it kills him, so that's quite important. You're planning how well to use those champions, but once they're gone, your forces become a lot weaker. So I think there's lots to think about in terms of the strategy, and yet the mechanics are very simple. I love the card play. I think that works really well. I'd be on an 8 out of 10. I'd be a big fan of this one. Alright, thanks for watching. That was Assault of the Giants.